Straight women have always told me that they envy me because I don't date men. I date women. But the thing is, straight women don't understand the difficulties of dating women because they don't date women. I've never had an easy time dating women. And in this video, I want to talk about why. Welcome to Treu Sovereignty, where we're mastering our minds so we can reclaim our peace. On my channel, we talk about building sovereignty, cultivating inner peace, emotional maturity, and overall independence within yourself and in your life. I think the core issue that comes from women is we're brought up to be dependent. We're brought up to rely on other people. When I was a little girl, it was constantly implied that I would never really have to fend for myself. I'd always have someone to rely upon, theoretically a husband. And women are brought up like that, whether they turn out to be gay or straight. Women are not told that one day someone's going to rely on you and someone's going to depend on you. So you're going to have to learn how to rely on yourself, depend on yourself, and learn how to solve problems. Women aren't taught that. So that in turn causes a whole host of other issues. I also just want to have a disclaimer here. None of this is women hating. There are issues with men as well. I might talk about that in another video, but that's not what this video is about. And towards the end of this video, you'll actually see what I truly think. But first, I want to get into the obstacles when it comes to dating women from a woman's perspective. So women are essentially getting mixed messages as we grow up because we're taught to be reliant, which causes women to actually become entitled. So women feel that they are entitled to a man's money, a man's time, what have you. Mostly their money, right? But then in turn, they're taught that they're flawless, that they can do whatever they want, be whatever they want, and that they should be an independent boss babe. So that's where we get feminism, where women are essentially spreading the message that they want equality, but that they also feel entitled to a man's money. That's where we're getting the mixed messages there. These issues are stemming not only from how we're raised and the classical roles that women have kind of always played within society, but now social media, which is kind of spouting this you don't need anybody type of mentality. So women are getting mixed messages, and it's getting really confusing. So I'm a woman, what makes me different? Well, not all women are like this. You know, not all women are the way that I'm describing. And the reason I'm not like this, the reason why I'm independent, solo, emotionally mature, self-aware, is because my worst fear has always been relying on somebody else. I grew up in a household where I kind of knew early on I didn't want to stay for very long. So, due to a toxic environment, you know, differing lifestyles, things like that, I knew I didn't want to stick around for very long. So, I knew I didn't want to rely on anybody. So, in turn, I became independent, emotionally mature, self-aware, accountable, because I knew those things were a recipe for independence. You know, if I wipe my ass, I get clapped for, you know? Great job, you wiped your ass, you know? All because I'm a woman. I do a lot of things that men do, but I get praised for it, and men are kind of like, okay, big deal. I'll give you one example, skateboarding. I'm a woman who skateboards. That is admirable. That is, wow, you're so brave and talented and skilled. But if women or society finds out that a man skateboards, he's a loser, he's a bum, he's a stoner, he's, you know, that is really a big difference. And that is just one example. There are many, many other examples. I mean, scuba diving is looked at, I'm a scuba diver, and scuba diving is looked at, you know, as, wow, that's such a crazy brave sport that you do. But again, if someone finds out that a man scuba dives, it's like, oh, okay, cool. If someone finds out that I scuba dive as a woman, wow, that is so amazing. You are so inspirational. Women get 10 times more praise for doing the bare minimum. And so men are kind of starting on a lower point. So women automatically think that they're top tier, you know, when they're actually just average. Men who are 10s will sleep with really anybody. A 10 man will sleep with a woman who's a 2 just to get some tail, right? So that woman who's a 2 now thinks that she can get men who are 10s. So average men aren't getting any action because average women or below average women think they can get above average men. That's just kind of how it works. So let me just rattle off a list of the type of women I've dated. This comes from 15 years of dating, 15 plus years of dating, 6 serious relationships, and 60 plus dates with women. And I've dated men as well, but mostly women. So I'm going to rattle it off, and I'm also not, excluding myself. I was also toxic in these situations, but I would say that there were really only a few times where I was the most toxic, and that was simply because I was unaware and immature, not because I was abusive or manipulative on purpose. So those are my flaws. Now let me tell you what I've experienced in women. I dated a woman who was physically, mentally, emotionally, and verbally abusive. I've dated women who were incredibly emotionally immature and unaware. Women who were incredibly avoidant. Women are players. Women can be avoidant. Women can be unaware. I've dated women who used sex, affection, touch as a weapon against me and withheld sex. So I was essentially in a sexless relationship with that woman. I've been with women who were jealous, conniving, manipulative, and controlling. You name it. I have been with those types of women. Now for men, I know one of the biggest obstacles men face is that women are emasculating to men. They essentially treat men like they're children. And that's actually what happened to me. And no, it's not because I was acting like a child. It's because the particular woman I was with wanted to be in control and continually treated me as if I was an idiot, as if I was a burden, even though I sacrificed almost everything for that woman. She treated me like I was a piece of dirt. And what is all that for? It's to gain control and power. She had insecurity, so she wanted to bring me down to her level so she didn't have to feel so bad about herself. And that's what women do a lot of the time. And women don't realize it. And here I am, as a woman, telling you how women can be. So all this to say, men are not the only problem. Women are also a problem. We are in an emotional immaturity pandemic. What does that mean? That means everybody is a fucking child. Unfortunately, most adults are children these days. And that is what I want to bring attention to. We need to stop blaming each other. Stop blaming men, stop blaming women. In fact, it's a whole ass red flag if you meet somebody. If you meet a man and they hate women, or if you meet a woman and they hate men, That's a red flag, and you should run away from that person as fast as you possibly can. Here's the deal. By the time you're 25 and your frontal lobe has fully developed, there are no more excuses for you to be a baby. It's time to grow up. It's time for you to become a better person instead of searching for a good person. It's time for you to stop popping out babies and start popping out hard truths about yourself. It's time to stop taking and start giving. It's time to start getting to know yourself before you try to get to know somebody else. And it's time to realize your own flaws before you start judging others. What do they say? Don't throw rocks when you're in a glass house. Something like that. I don't know. Dating isn't cooked because of one gender, because of men or women. Dating is cooked because people are selfish, superficial, immature, unaware. Dating is cooked because people are cooked. Let's just say that. So all this to say, stop blaming each other and start blaming yourself. If you like this type of content, this type of hard truth, objective, general content, leave a like down below, comment down below your experience if you're a lesbian, or if you're a man who dates women, or if you're a woman who agrees and you're straight. Most straight women will not be able to hear this because they're not self-aware, they're very defensive, which is a sign of emotional immaturity. And they just can't take it that men aren't the only problem in the world. It's not the patriarchy, it's the billionaires. Men and women. Like, share, subscribe. I am a new content creator, so I really appreciate you checking out my stuff. And I will see you in the next video with more hard truths.